Did you know that you don't have to do hundreds of daily push-ups to build muscle? Forget about heavy lifting and using all sorts of gym equipment and machines. Sometimes simplicity is key. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can strategically add push-ups to your routine to promote maximum gain. It's also important to get a full grasp of the science behind muscle building. More importantly, we'll share with you exactly how many push-ups you need to complete to get bigger and stronger. Later on, I'll give you some tips on how to do push-ups correctly to ensure that you experience the full benefits and avoid injury. What is muscle hypertrophy? Muscle hypertrophy is the process of increasing the size of muscle cells due to physical training. In the context of push-ups, it's a result of lowering and lifting your body during movement, effectively causing stress on the muscles and creating tiny micro tears. And no, micro tears aren't a bad thing. In fact, they play a significant role in the muscle building process. As the body repairs those micro tears, it doesn't just build them back to their original state, it forges them to become stronger and larger than before, making way for more muscle growth and eventually allowing the body to handle even greater weights in the future. Push-ups have been a gym staple since day one. It uses only your body weight, and yet your body gets a lot of benefits in return. So how do push-ups really affect your body? How the body reacts to push-ups. When it comes to push-ups, it's always a guarantee to feel the burn. Regardless of the kind you do, push-ups recruit so many muscles at once, including your chest, back, shoulders, and arms. One of the pros of this exercise is that it can be modified in various ways to target specific muscles better. For instance, performing a standard push-up with your hands underneath your shoulders will emphasize your chest. Meanwhile, doing a narrow push-up with your hands closer to your sides will target your triceps. Also, holding a plank form throughout compels your core to stay engaged until you finish your reps. Aside from the unmistakable burn you feel in your body, push-ups are a foolproof way of getting your heart pumping. Because this exercise simultaneously engages many major muscles, it forces your heart to work harder to transport blood to that tissue. Ultimately, all that extra work translates to a healthy stress on your heart, effectively boosting your cardiovascular health. One study even points to a link between push-up capacity and heart health. According to the study, men who could do 40 push-ups had a significantly lower risk of heart problems over the next 10 years than those who could only do 10 push-ups or fewer. But are you looking more into enhancing your strength and endurance than getting a cardiovascular workout? Don't worry, push-ups are also excellent at those. Push-ups work your core since the form mimics a plank but with some added arm movements. As such, you're building core strength and stability by holding that plank form while cranking out your reps. Besides core strength, your upper body also gets stronger since the exercise recruits all the major upper body muscles. Lastly, as your strength grows, so does your muscle endurance. Enhanced muscle endurance not only helps you complete more reps, but also makes it easier for you to do everyday activities like carrying heavy grocery bags. Amount of push-ups you should be doing daily. To find out how many push-ups you need to do per day to build muscle, first off, you must determine your max repetitions for one set. Now just use that to calculate a push-up goal for your upper body workout. Here are some guidelines according to one's maximum repetitions. Number 1. If you max out at less than 25 push-ups in a row, aim for 50 to 75 push-ups. 2. If you max out between 25 and 50 push-ups, aim for 50 to 150 push-ups. 3. If you max out at more than 50 push-ups, keep in mind with good form, aim for 150 to 250 push-ups. So feel free to divide these numbers into anywhere from 2 to 4 sets. That being said, you shouldn't be too complacent with these ranges. Consider them as a good starting goal, but make it a mission to do more push-ups each week. Depending on your fitness level, I'd say a good goal is adding 1 to 2 push-ups to your previous week's number. It may sound a bit conservative, but that's because one rule you must remember is to maintain good form, always. When determining your baseline, as in the number of push-ups you can do at once, you should stop at the number of reps you can complete using the proper technique. You don't want to overdo it, especially if you're a beginner. One major indicator that your form has been compromised already is when your butt is sagging or sticking up in the air. A neutral neck is also a must. So how far can you get with just push-ups? Push-ups are a great exercise movement to help improve upper body strength. They can help to build muscle mass, strength, and endurance, depending on your volume, sets, and reps. If your goal is to get stronger, you may need to think about doing other upper body pushing exercises, as you're limited with a push-up by your own body weight. If your goal is to improve your body composition, then you'll need to focus on your nutrition in combination with your workouts. And if you're still a beginner who, say, has a max set of push-ups below 10, focus on trying to boost volume. You can then increase the number of total push-ups gradually or push yourself to complete them in a shorter period. On another note, you'd be doing yourself a huge favor if you introduced your muscles to other exercises as well. While push-ups are amazing in their own right, adding other movements to your routine is the key to achieving total body aesthetics. But more on that in a bit. Why progressive overload matters. Progressive overload is a fantastic way of building muscle. It essentially means gradually increasing the amount of resistance or the number of push-ups you do over time by consistently challenging yourself. It can also be accomplished by trying out different variations of the exercise, which brings me to my next point. Here's some great push-up modifications to add variety. Number 1. Incline push-up. Incline push-ups are great if you're trying to progress to full push-ups, want to do more push-ups, or need to take it easy. They work the same muscle groups as the traditional move, but require placing your hands on an elevated surface, making them easier. But you'll still want to keep your spine straight for proper form. Here's a tip. Start at a higher altitude for easier versions and move your hands closer to the ground as your strength increases. If incline push-ups focus on your lower chest and back muscles, then these push-ups focus on your upper chest and front shoulder muscles, but more on them shortly. 2. T push-up. You'll perform standard push-ups with this variation, but additionally tax your shoulders between reps. At the top of each rep during a T push-up, you rotate your body into a side plank, lifting your free hand toward the ceiling. Instead of stacking your feet, simply pivot on them depending on the direction of the rotation. Do you want to focus on your core muscles though? This push-up modification will give you exactly that. Number 3. Plank push-up. A good way to challenge your body is to do some isometric work in the form of plank push-ups. In this variation, you start on your forearms in the plank position instead of on your hands. Using one arm at a time, you'll get up from your forearms to your palms. Once you're in a high plank, reverse course and lower yourself back down to your forearms, one arm at a time. But if the plank push-up's getting too easy for you, you may want to try this advanced variation called the diamond push-up, which primarily targets your triceps. Number 4. Diamond push-up. Diamond push-ups are sometimes referred to as the tricep push-up. Instead of keeping your hands shoulder width apart, you'll bring them together underneath you with your thumbs and pointer fingers touching to create a diamond shape. From here, you'll do the push-up as you normally would, keeping your elbows tucked the entire time. Number 5. Decline push-up. If you're trying to do as many reps of standard push-ups as you can, why not challenge yourself with this variation? This requires positioning your feet on an elevated surface to increase the angle of your body and the intensity of the exercise as your core muscles fire to keep your body stabilized. To adjust your difficulty level, experiment with different surface heights or even your tempo. If decline push-ups aren't cutting it anymore, I bet you'd find yourself catching a breath with these. Number 6. Plyo push-up. With a basic plyo push-up, you'll lower yourself to within a couple of inches off the ground like normal. Then focus on explosive strength as you push your body up so that your hands lift a couple of inches off the ground between reps. If you're new to plyometrics, start slow and land gently to avoid wrist injury. Recovery is part of the journey. It's really important to incorporate rest days into your routine. Without adequate rest, your form and technique will be unsustainable, leading to a greater risk of injury and diminishing returns. Experts suggest a frequency of 2 to 4 times per week, but this will depend on your level of fitness and what your goals are. But if you're always feeling sore after your workout, have sleeping problems, or have reduced strength, it may be a telltale sign of overextension, and you may need to have to take a step back from your overall training. According to research, a 48 to 72 hour rest period is adequate for resistance training recovery. Take a rest when you need to. It's an opportunity for your body to recover and rebuild, and won't make you less of a man. Quality over quantity. The path to building muscle isn't just about counting how many push-ups you can do. What actually holds more weight is how you can do each rep with proper form and precision. In the fitness world, quality reigns over quantity. A good form ensures that every muscle is engaged correctly, reducing the risk of injury and maximizing the benefits of the exercise. It serves as your foundation that allows your movements to be smooth and controlled. Because you've reached this part of the video, here's some tips to follow when you do push-ups. Tip 1. Keep your core engaged to prevent your back from arching and your hips from sagging. Tip 2. Keep your head, neck, and shoulders aligned with your spine. Either keep your gaze on the floor a few feet in front of you, or look straight down while doing push-ups. If you can see the ceiling or your feet, your head is too high or low. Tip 3. Keep your hands under your shoulders. Your hands should be a little more than hip width apart, but still align with your shoulders. Placing them too far forward puts extra pressure on your shoulders. The thing is, even after having all that information engraved into your mind, it's important that you take care of your overall aesthetics, and you can't do that just by doing push-ups forever. Lucky for you, we have just the right solution in this next video, so make sure you watch that next.